So, good morning, sir. Namaskar. Good morning, sir. So, sir,
Very good morning.
sorry for the delay in the link. Somehow it was missing. Actually, link
No,
sharing
no
is
issues, sir.
done
No
by
issue.
MMTTC. So, as soon as I received your
Sir, no, कोई बात
request,
नहीं है,
I
sir, ये
forwarded to
करेंगे.
them and immediately
Yes.
they sent to me. So, sir, we are having nearly 40 participants in this course. They are mostly from commerce, economics, and management background, and nearly half of them are already a PhD awarded, and remaining are undergoing with this research. Roughly, I'm not telling exact figures. Uh, so, dear participants, now we are having Professor S.R. Keshava ji. He is a senior professor in Bangalore University in the Department of Economics, and he's going to talk on challenges and opportunities for Viksit Bharat. He's having a very rich experience of more than 25, 26 years. He's having a lot of contribution in the field of publication and research. He has written more than 12 books, including edited books. In last 5 years, he is having publication more than 60. He has made presentation in different seminars. Within last 5 years, more than 100, more than 110. He has been delivering this kind of talks on different platforms for his refresher course or some other places. It is more than 150. And he has guided nearly 10 research scholars. So he's having a rich experience in the field of teaching and research. And he is here for next 1.5 hour. So, sir, now platform is yours, sir. You may start your work, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the good introduction, Singh, sir. And good morning, fellow teachers. Indeed, very happy to be part of this wonderful refresher course, wherein both of us can share our ideas and know each other well through the ideas. And when we are speaking of the Vikasit Bharat, and one more thing, whenever you feel like adding something or want to ask something, or kindly raise your hands through the app, and then we can also discuss. Need not be that it should be one-sided. I am happy to take any queries on the issue, and we can also discuss on that. Or if you want to have it at the end also, it is fairly good, but the choice is yours. But do actively participate whenever you feel like adding something or you have a doubt on this issue. We are all fellow teachers and we know about the subject. It is not that we do not know, but only thing is how exactly each one of us are putting this Vikasit Bharat idea, and whether it is going to happen in case if Vikasit India will attain Vikasit Bharat status or a developed India status by 2047. What are the challenges? What are the opportunities? These are the issues that which we have to discuss today. Basically, if I hope many of you will agree with me when I say, India will definitely become a developed India the way in which it is doing today. Because India is the fastest, not one of the fastest, it is the fastest growing economy among the emerging economies. And if you see all the macroeconomic indicators of India, they are doing fairly well today. I can take one after the another and discuss with you. But here, today's my role is, what are the major challenges and obstacles? It is really good that India would definitely become Vikasit Bharat. But, whether we will be able to sustain, whether we'll be able to face the challenges effectively, and whether we'll be able to utilize the opportunities so that we can become Vikasit Bharat. So this is the total theme of my lecture today. And we have been, very happy celebrating 78th year of India's independence with the great joy of reference and reverence and reaffirming our commitment to do our duties in Kartavya Kal. When I speak of Kartavya Kal, this period of another 22 years, in case if all of us work, only then India would become Vikasit Bharat. This is what the Kartavya Kal during the Amrit Kal is speaking of. And when we are speaking of Vikasit Bharat, right, that will be that India would be a developed economy by when we will be celebrating our 100th year of freedom from the colonial rule, that is by 2047. But generally, when we speak of a developed India, there are many definitions which people do, which economists do say, okay, developed economy refers to this. But in my framework, I'm using the World Bank status atlas method of the definition of the developed economy, wherein it clearly states us, right? Wherein it clearly states us, developed economy are those which is having more than GNI per capita of dollar 14,000. So in case if we take this definition into the picture now and see in India today, which is 2,500 US dollars economy, can it become 14,000 plus US dollar economy within another 22 years? So if you ask me, I will definitely say yes. And even the recent budget document of the government of India also clearly tells us when we celebrate the 100th year of India's independence, the per capita income of this country would reach 14.9 lakh rupees. So this is the goal. So in case now, let us try to understand this. And along with this, right, if it has to be sustainable, in case if okay, fine, even if we will attain this, right, even if we'll attain this, then we'll be able to end the poverty in all the forms as one of the 17 development goals by 2047. We'll be able to end the hunger, achieve the food security with improved nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture or ensure the healthy lives. Okay, only then it will become inclusivity, right? So all these are the issues, right? Whether we'll be able to attain all the 17 goals under the sustainable development goals. In case if we are able to do that, and then become a developed economy, then India would be really in heaven to live in. But before understanding this concept, let us try to see now what are the major challenges that India will be facing before trying to understand the opportunities that which we have. Right now, India is the fifth largest economy among the major global economies, and we hold the position of the fifth largest economy. And projections of the IMF clearly is telling us that India is on the track to surpass the Japan by 2026 and Germany by 2027 in the economic stature, that is by our total national income or by the GDP. So the journey that in case if you want to see the challenges, let us give a moment to understand how was our journey in these 77 years. So when the Britishers handed over India for us, then India was in a very terribly bad position. When I say this terribly bad position, probably you will be uh, heartburning to understand that before 1900 to 1947, the growth rate of India was just 0.9%. Average growth rate of India was just 0.9%. The poverty in India was more than 70%. The dependency on the agriculture was more than 80%. There was a stagnancy. There was a stagnancy in the Indian economy to a very, very greater extent, to a very larger extent. Though so we have come a long way from that point of time. But again, that question comes, right? India, did we have any rich history? So that fine, when we got the independence, our growth rate was very less and we were in a very terribly bad shape. But India, once upon a time, was a very rich country. And we also were a global economic powerhouse and were a developed country. So when I say this, yes, we can draw the lessons from that point of time. So when we were a developed country, and so that in case if we can learn something from that and see that India can become again reclaim that position of global economic powerhouse and become a developed country. In case if you just look at the Angus Madison research, which has been published in the with the title "The World Economy: A Millennial Perspective," you can clearly find that India commanded a very significant economic influence in the ancient times. From the 0 to 1000 CE, India held the top positions in the global economy with a commanding 32.9% share of the world GDP in the first century and 28.9% in the 11th century. So to that extent, right? So we were commanding the world economy and almost, imagine even today, US is not holding 32.9% share of the world GDP, but India was holding that amount of world's GDP from 0 to 1000 CE. And in case if you want to understand, after that also, right, after 11th century also, during the period of 1000 to 1700 AD, much before the Britishers came, right, they started coming from 1699 AD onwards and became more dominant after that. So if you see that period also, India remained as the world's second largest economic force after China during this period. By the end of the Mughals in India, so we were the world's second largest economic force after China. In the 1700, despite the substantial regions of the India being under the Mughal rule, the country maintained a remarkable 24.4% share of the world GDP, outstripping the entire Europe's 23.3%. This is what the Angus Madison's research in the world economy millennium perspective clearly tells us. So India was a world economic superhouse and it can also become again. But only thing is this period of this Amrut Kal, in case if it is converted into Kartavya Kal, only then it will definitely happen. And in case another crucial thing that which we have to understand here is I was mentioning to you, right? By the time we got independence, right, there was a rampant poverty in this country, and even government of India had issued a circular wherein not to invite more than 30 persons for any of their private function. To that amount, the food scarcity was there in the country, and we were going with the begging bowl to the US to give us the wheat so that we can feed the hungry bellies in the country. So, but by the end of 1970s, right, by the end of 1970s, India became self-sufficient thanks to the Green Revolution. Our farmers hold the India high. So all of us are aware of it. And now we will see, what are the missions of this Amrut Kal, right? This 22 years, they are trying to visualize it as Pancha Pran, right? Pancha Pran of the Amrut Kal, the five fundamental principles. So what are these five fundamental principles that which we are speaking of? So we are speaking of rapid and sustainable growth, improved living standards, advancement in infrastructure and technology, and reinstating the global confidence in India. So all these, right, to revamp, the goal is to make India a developed economy. And that are the reasons that why, we have the high Pancha Pran of the Amrut Kal period, which says one thing is still now, this mindset, the colonial mindset has not gone with us. So this has to be eradicated. This has to be removed out from the Indian mindset. Still, there is a trend, there isn't thinking that whatever comes from the West, right, whatever comes from the West, that is good. So, and even the history books that has been written by the Westerners, they alone are the correct one. So in case if you just move, if we can remove this mindset and see, the real history, if you can see what exactly is the importance of the Indian economy, and without seeing it from the colonial mindset, then probably we will be proud enough of our culture, we'll be proud enough of this mother Bharat. So this is what is the first Pancha Pran, that is the eradication of the colonial mindset. This I can say even, we did not accept the yoga till the Westerners said, yoga is very good, and even United Nations started celebrating the Yoga Day. So this mindset, first, let us be proud about what we have, about our rich culture. Then probably, the things will fall in place. So the pride in our cultural heritage is the second Pancha Pran of the Amrit Kal. The third one is fostering the unity and instilling a sense of civic duty among the citizens. In case if all of us, right, that Constitution just 2 days 2 days behind, we celebrated our Constitution Day, and on 26th, all of us were very happy, and we celebrated our 75th Constitution Day on that day. Constitution is clearly demarcated as is clearly guiding force to us, and we should be proud, right? We should be proud of our culture. We should be uh, moving away from the colonial mindset, and also we should have a sense of civic duty. One thing is it also gives us the right, it also tells us our duties, but all of us are happy claiming our rights but not doing our duties. So this is what I was trying to recollect through the Constitution Day. We are happy celebrating the Constitution Day, but we should also be happy doing our duties, the basic duties. That makes it much the brighter aspects of this Amrit Kal period. And now let us also try to, before looking into what are the challenges, let us try to see what is the government's plan to attain to make a Indian Vikasit Bharat. So they want to have it through the inclusive development, because even if India is a developed economy and developed economy by 2047, and if it doesn't matter to the people, to each and every one, each and every Indian, then it doesn't matter. So that is the reason that why it should reach each and everyone. That is one of the Saptarishis, reaching the last mile. So infrastructure and investment for what? Improved infrastructure and investment is for the betterment of the living of the commoners. And we have a huge potential. Probably, in any sphere of that, any sphere, any economic sphere, any commerce sphere, any management issue, it's Indians who are leading. But the potential still is hidden. Still it can be unleashed to a very greater extent, because we have 142 crore population, and majority of it should be converted into the human capital to realize their potential. So how exactly to unleash the potential of the entire masses? And during the development, we were speaking of the inclusive development, so that each and every individual enjoys the fruit of this developed India. So that is very crucial, and it should be green, right? The growth should be green, right? It is not that we will also follow the path that which Americans or Europeans followed to become a developed country, because then technology was not there. Today, technology is there, and the path of India's to become a developed country should be green. So that is the reason that why one of the term is also the green growth. And moreover, today India is enjoying the demographic dividend. We will definitely speak more on it when the issues of demographic dividend as an opportunity comes. Here, the crucial thing is how exactly this youth empowerment, because India is a very young country today. We average age of India is 28.5 years. So the young India, how this youth should be empowered, right? So in case if we don't empower the youth, then there is no point in this. Then strengthening the financial sector is another crucial thing. Strengthening the financial sector, that is also very crucial. So in case if we do this, right, in case if we reach even the last mile and have a very modern, sophisticated infrastructure and investment, and by unleashing the potential of the individuals here, by threading the path of green growth, empowering our youths, and strengthening the financial sector, who can stop us? Nobody can stop India to become inclusive, developed country by 2047. So continuing with that, right? Continuing with that. So now first, let us try to understand, what are the challenges that which India is facing right now in order to become a developed country. The first and foremost important thing is, today's India's growth is again, dependent on many external factors also. In today's world, earlier, the economists used to say in the next 3 months, first, they used to say another 6 months, these are the scenarios that can be expected. But now the situation is such that it came down to 3 months, and now it is so tough that uncertainty is the only certainty of the country's position today. Because the world scenario is such that there will be so much of uncertainty. All of a sudden, there will be new development, and we expected that the Ukraine war, Ukraine Russia would stop the war and it would not prolong to this extent. But it keeps on continuing. Then there was an Israel Gaza conflict, and these kinds of issues, Iran-Israel conflict, and these issues all will also have its impact on India's economic growth. That is the reason that why we have to sustain the growth. That is the major challenge today. And we also should keep in the mind that uncertainty is the only certainty in the today's sphere. And how to plan for that uncertainty, and still be on the top. Because, clearly it is the major challenge for India is to attain the annual growth rate of 7 to 8% and aim at the per capita income of 14,000 US dollars by 2020, as by 2047. So this was suggested by Rangarajan in 2024 that India should continuously till then have 7 to 8% annual growth and 14,000 per capita income. Continuously. This amount of tough challenge for India. And the Deloitte South Asia CEO, Romal Shetty, also has calculated the need for the higher growth of, say, 8 to 9% for over 20 years in this coming 22 years to become developed status by 47. The major issue here is, we import almost 70% for petroleum and any uncertainty, right? And even the supply chain, though now they're trying to become self Atmanirbhar Bharat, till our supply chains, we are dependent on many, including China. And any disturbances in the international level will have its impact on it, and it will have its impact on the growth. So these are the crucial issue that which we have to consider, and we have how to face it. Scenario one, scenario two. In case if there is some disturbance in terms of foreign policy of those countries, in case of the wars or conflict in some other countries, how to face them. Scenario two. So all these India should be ready and still, with the green, because we have a very ambitious path. We will attain our developed India, not you know altering the path like which the Westerners or the Americans did. But we will attain it not through the brown growth, but through the green growth. That is what India is aiming at. Because, Mahatma Gandhi also says it is not just the end which is important, the means to that end is also important. India is thinking on those lines. India is thinking on the means to attain this developed economy, becoming a developed country. It is not just, by having the brown growth, by emitting too much of carbon dioxide, by contributing more to the climate change. India don't want to become developed India. So these are the major challenges, right? On the one hand, we have to continuously have 7 to 8% of the growth. And on the other hand, the uncertainties which is growing in the international sphere, with each passing day, the uncertainties are increasing. And we have to also have this at least balanced rate in terms of the rupee against the dollar. That is also very crucial, because 70% of the petrol oil lubricant is growth, or 8 to 9% as should be advantage for India for the next 20 years. So these is the challenge. The economists and all the policy makers should sit together and frame a policy, right? Frame a scenario, different scenarios. In case if something spike happens, how to boost the domestic demand and still uh, foreign trade with the uncertainties. So all these issues, right, are crucial. And add to this,
Sir has got disconnected. Just wait. He will be joining again.
Yes, sorry for that technical glitch.
Yeah. Okay, sir. You may continue, sir.
Yeah. We are trying to understand, right, in how to have the strengthening the rupee against the dollar in such an uncertain scenario, and moreover, how to maintain the inflation within the acceptable limits and fostering the positive trade balances and capital flows. So, first important challenge will be to have 7 to 8% or 8 to 9% of growth for another 20 years continuously with this kind of scenario. And another important, let me also add here, the major challenge is the unemployment. The major challenge is unemployment, how to give employment, right? How to give employment to the majority of the Indians. Because, even the economic survey clearly tells us, 78.5 lakhs of the jobs has to be created in the non-farm sector. 78.5 lakh non-farm jobs has to be created annually. How to create this 78.51 lakh non-farm jobs? Because in case if you see how Indian economy has threaded over the years, all the growth process of the developed countries has followed a common pattern. One is they were agrarian economies, then they became industrial economies, then many of them retained their industrial economy status, and some of them became service-oriented economies. But in case of India, India was an agrarian economy, and still majority of the people are dependent on agriculture economy. That is number one. And India was an agrarian economy, and it never became an industrialized economy, but it became a service-oriented economy. We bypassed or we leapfrogged from agriculture economy, agrarian economy to service-oriented economy. So what is it an advantageous position? Yes, definitely it is an advantageous position. But the major thing is service sector don't create you as much of the jobs that which an economy requires. It's the industry or the manufacturing sector which generates you more job. So because India was never a manufacturing, India in the path of its growth never became a dominating manufacturing economy, the problem of unemployment is also there. Now, because we are enjoying demographic dividend, this issue has to be tackled very seriously, and know how to create. Now economic surveys having a clear cut target, it has to, Indian economy has to generate 78.51 lakh jobs annually in the non-farming sector, and India is doing whatever best it can. But where exactly India can look into. So right now the workforce of India is 86.5 crores, right? Indian workforce is nearly 56.5 crores. Indian's workforce is 56.5 crore workforce. Out of this, 45% are dependent on agriculture. 45% of 56.5 crore is dependent on agriculture. 11.4% are dependent on manufacturing. 28.9% are dependent on services, and 13% are dependent on construction. So these sectors, right, agriculture, despite our journey for 77 years, still agriculture is dominating the workforce. It is giving jobs to more than 45% of the people. But when it comes to the manufacturing, only 11.4% of jobs are created by the manufacturing. In such a scenario, in case if India really or had to become Vikasit Bharat, then we have to create more jobs in the manufacturing sector. If you want to create more jobs in manufacturing sector, then agrarian economy, which is giving jobs to around 45%, that has to be reduced. So if you skill, if you train your surplus workforce who is dependent on the agriculture and then move them towards the manufacturing sector, and manufacturing sector also should expand, then no force on this country, no force in the world can stop India becoming the developed economy. So these are the crucial things, right? These are the crucial things that India has to take into consideration if it has to become a developed country. And government of India is also doing its bit, right? Government of India is also doing it whatever possible ways to boost the manufacturing sector in every segment, right? Either by creating the skill, giving more skills to our youths, it is doing, and right, giving lot of incentives for the manufacturing sector. In the recent budget, also you can see how much of incentives the government of India is giving for the manufacturing sector, so that the manufacturing sector expands, it creates more jobs. It creates more jobs and also contributes to our national income. So government is doing its bit, and we have to join hands in seeing that this all the policy and programs that which the government of India has initiated, which the state governments, in case if respective state governments has initiated to encourage the manufacturing sector, has to fall in line and see that it will be implemented in total. And another important factor is India's female labor force participation has been increasing over the last 6 years. And if it further increases, right, and again, that will also lead to decline in our unemployment rate. So all these are the issues that which we have to take into for 22, 23, and then it has further come down. But despite all these things, right, if you look into this India's graduate skill index 2023, which has been done by Mercer and Med, that indicates only 45% the Indian graduate who possess the skills to meet the index demand. So it means to say, even the economics way of
I think sir is having some problem with internet. Wait, he will be joining again. Meanwhile, you can keep on posting your questions. He has joined back.
today, I do not understand why there is so much of. So sorry
Internet
for that. The thought process also will be disturbed with this thing.
disturbed. Yes, sir. Yes. Okay, sir.
Even the economic survey is also clearly highlighting that 1 out of the 2 graduates in India are unemployed as they lack the skills, as they lack the necessary skills to meet the industry and the service sector demands. So even the State of Working India report also is almost highlighting the same aspect, and even any agency that which is discussing on that. Even if you see the data from the Statistica also, it's telling you almost the same thing. So how exactly, right, we can improve our the employability skills of our students? That is again, for the teachers, you and me to decide how to impart more skills amongst the students. Because in case if you see the ACER report, right, if you see the ACER report, especially, the post-graduation, undergraduation, postgraduate teachers keep on telling us, keep on regularly telling, the stuff that which we are getting, the students, quality that which we are getting is not good. Generally, this grumbling is always there. But, to support the argument of this, the ACER report, the Government of India's ACER report also clearly shed lights on the concerning educational quality. It tells us, approximately 25% of the young individuals. That is, this survey is generally done among the age group of 14 to 18-year-old, those who are in the high school stage, or those who have cleared the 10th standard and just have entered their plus 11 or plus 11th standard or 12th standard, plus 1 or plus 2. So for those students, this survey will be done, and they will be asked to read the second standard textbook in their regional languages. So second standard textbook uh, by the 14 to 18-year-old, it should be as easy as one can imagine. But unfortunately, ACER report clearly tells us 25% of the young individuals struggle to read this class 2 level textbook fluently in the regional languages. They fail. They cannot read the regional language textbook of the class 2 second standard textbooks. And 43% of them, right, 43% of the students in between 14 and 18-year-old are unable to solve a three-digit division problem, which a third standard student must solve. The expectation is that the third standard student should do, but the students of the high school and even 11th and 12th, 43% of them are unable to solve even the third standard, a simple elementary division problem, 3 is to 1 division problem. And these kinds of issues will make us to rethink about the quality of education. So this is where I strongly feel that the quality of education, again, it is in the hands of all of us as a fellow teachers, right? You and me should think seriously on this issue, right? We cannot just say, okay, the primary students, the one, if the report is telling, it's very clear that we are doing our job, not them. No, it is not like that. Even if you see the students who are coming out of the graduation or post graduation, how many of them, right, how many of them, even after getting the PhD, why those students are applying for the group D? Because it's a PhD again, after post graduation rigorous work, right? Because they look at the UGC standards that which is expected from a PhD student, the rigorous coursework that which it is asking us to implement. So despite all that, what many places, when I will be receiving the thesis from across the country, many a times I feel, I should not have accepted reading for evaluating of this particular thesis. Many a times I feel the same phenomena, because it will not, you cannot even write a single article out of that entire thesis. So these kind of things is almost there from the primary schools to that of our PhD level. So how exactly can we improve the quality of education? How can we bring in, right, especially in the commerce, management, economics, how can we bring in the experiential learning to our students? It's fine that, how much of our students are employed. Are we doing a survey for ourselves? And, are we correcting ourselves? These are the issues. It's fine that many of us are trying I'm not saying all of us are not doing our duties, and we have to do it more is what my concern is all about. In case if we don't enhance, and if we keep on saying, no, yes, a report is telling this, and the quality of students which we have to get from the primary high school should be good, and plus 1, plus 2, or 11th or 12th standard should be good. We cannot keep on saying on that, and we cannot shift our responsibility to the others. Let them do their duties, and we have to do our duty, because even in simple English proficiency is also a challenge. 57.3% of the youths are capable of reading sentences in English, whereas another 42.7% of the students are unable to read simple sentences in English. So these are also the issues that were there. So, but when they come to us, right? But when they come to us, so how can we improve their quality, right? These are the issues. We cannot, you know, shut out our responsibilities, because, NEP clearly tells us, how to bring in the hands-on or experiential learning, how to bring the critical thinking into the syllabus. And many of us, when we frame the syllabus, we will be happy framing the syllabus that which we are acquainted. We should be ready to learn and teach if the demand arises, because in the AI, probably all of us are aware of this. International Labor Organization is clearly telling us 40% of the jobs, right? 40% of the jobs will be lost, right? 40% of the jobs will be lost in the another 4 or 5 years. So in 4 or 5 years, if the 40% of the jobs will be lost because of the AI, another 45% of the jobs will also be created by the AI. So how exactly we will enhance this, right? How to enhance this? How to enhance the rate of employability of the students? How to make them, yeah, even in the arts, even in the commerce, even in this management, they have bought in the AI. But who is teaching that? Whether the teachers are trained to teach the AI in their respective papers, or just because of the workload that we are trying to do it by ourselves. So all these are the issues, right? We should introspect and retrospect ourselves, whether we are learning properly and teaching. Because 2024 employability of the among the graduates in India is also out by Statistica. And in case if you see that, Polytechnic, the rate of employability in 2024 is just 22.37%, which has to be one of the job-oriented courses. The rate of employability in 2024 in India of Polytechnic is just 22.37%. And in case of ITI, or Industrial Training Institutes, it has increased slightly from 34.2% in 2023 to 40%. And in case of Bachelor of Arts, it is just 47.11%, 47.11%. And BCom, it is just 48.1%. And it is down from 60.62% in 2023. This is also again alarming. All these years, almost for more than a decade, commerce was enjoying the higher employability rate. But why is that now the Bachelor of Commerce employability rate has dipped down to 48.12 from 60.62? So all this, we have to, right? We have to retrospect, see our syllabi, introspect ourselves, and look into what is demanded and what is that we are teaching. How exactly we can achieve them. Let us learn, no issues. But our students, the greatest satisfaction to all of us, right, as a teachers, will be when our students succeed. When our students succeed, then yes, fine. Their success, one of the way of looking their success, I'm not saying that's the only way. One of the way of looking their success is how much knowledge they have gained, and how whether they are employed. So whether we have enhanced their employability skills. So all these are the issues that which we should look into. And the Bachelor of Science, BSc employability has increased from 37.69 in 2023 to 51.27%. Whereas Bachelor of Pharmaceuticals, it has dipped from 57.51% to 54%. Whereas the Commerce, it has increased to 64.63%. That is the one good thing that has happened. So it has increased to a greater extent. So, and whereas in case of our Bachelors of Engineering, Bachelor of Technology, the employability rate is around 64.67, and MBA, it's around 71.16%, and it has increased from 60% in 2023. So there are lessons that which all of us can learn from this when looking at this rate. So how to enhance this employability for students? All is in our hands, and we know the answers also. It is not that we do not know. We definitely know the answers, but only thing is, we are not looking at it very seriously, because, our unless and until we take these issues seriously and see that our students are employed, it really becomes very difficult. It really becomes very difficult for the India to become a developed economy. And I was just quoting you that last 2 years back when Railways invited the application for a Group D assistant post, where the minimum qualification was 8th standard, and thousands of applications came from the BTech, MTech, and even around 246 PhDs applied. And this shows, either the student is not confident of obtaining a job through his degree, or nor his degree, yeah, or the degree that which we have given to him is not able to get the job for him. So these are the things that where we, all of us as a teacher, should be keeping on retrospecting and introspecting, because unless and until our quality, because once a student clears his bachelor's degree, NEP is speaking about 1 year, even after a student's quitting his 1 year bachelor's degree, after 1 year of his bachelor's degree, then he should be given a certificate course, 2 years diploma. So what does it say to all of us? It says that student should be capable enough of getting the job even with a certificate course, or with 2 years diploma course, or 3 years graduation course, or 4 years honors course. That's what it means. So in case if it is not happening, then again there is something problem with our syllabi, or the way in which we are teaching to our students. So all these are the issues that which we should seriously look into. And so only then India will really emerge into a developed economy. And then the another important issue is about how much of investment should be. The challenge is to enhance the outlay of investment in the education, because committees after committee is mentioning that even the NEP is clearly telling us there should be 6% of in GDP's investment, 6% of the GDP should be spent on education. So unless and until we do this substantial investment of more than 6% of GDP in education, and another 4% in the affordable healthcare services, it really becomes difficult for India to sustain, even if we become a developed economy by 2047. Because just now we have discussed, the quality of education that which we are imparting, the way in which we are moving. So all this clearly is telling us, right? All this is clearly telling us that there should be more rigorous training for the teachers, and more rigorous training for our students also. So for which, 6% of the GDP in education is crucial, and that is from the policy side, it should be done. And from our side, we should be ready to take our rigorous training, and we should be able to impart this experiential learning, hands-on training to our students, so that and see that, how the STEM or the critical thinking or the big data, how best we will equip our students with all these skills, and see that our students will be employed. And another important challenge will be providing this world-class socio-economic physical infrastructure to support the overall growth. In case if you see the highways, if you see the railway lines at which the government, the airports at which the government of India is doing, we are very proud. But again, the quality of the roads, right? The quality of the state highways, district highways, the rural roads, these are again of the concern. Unless and until, this will be again of the world-class infrastructure, even in every village, right? In every village, leave alone the national highways. If at all, only when that, trickle downs to the rural roads, only then the real development will happen. Road creates development. And even, when many a times when I'll be traveling 40 kilometers in the rural side, 40 kilometers of the rural side sometimes takes 90 minutes to 2 hours. It should not really happen. And, it is almost true in across the country, right? Across the country, I've traveled across the country in many of the villages. It's except few places, right? It's almost quite common across the country. So we should have a world-class socio-economic physical infrastructure to support the overall growth in across all the places in this country. That is very crucial. And another important challenge will be, even now, the discrimination based on gender, discrimination based on religion, caste is reported here in few pockets of the country, and that should be clearly eradicated. And then, because otherwise, they will pose significant obstacles to the development and progress. So these type of discriminations, right, and this is done more by the educated, or so-called literates, and as a teachers, we should give them the clear education, clear-cut education that uneducated should always feel that all are equal, either a gender-based discrimination or even the preference for the male child even today, or the caste-based discriminations, all will definitely go, provided we give them the quality educations, we give our youngsters, we give our students the quality education where they should feel, right, where they should realize that all the Indians, all the sons and daughters of Bharat Mata are the one and the same. So these, otherwise, again, they will pose a greater challenge to our development, because development lies in the men's mind and in the institutions in which it finds the expression. So how exactly to instill that everybody is same, everybody is equal? All Indians have that. All Indians have have the capability of doing something good, and nobody is inferior or nobody is superior. So these kinds of confidence building measures, these kinds of positive building measures should be there. Otherwise, it again, all the strains that which everyone takes in building the physical infrastructure, in eradicating, creating more jobs, will be washed out by these things. So, because India is known for its whenever the challenges arises, India has done the best. When the cryogenic engines was not supplied to us by Russia, then Indians took it as a challenge. Indian scientists took it as a challenge, and we again now have gone up to the stage where we can also export the cryogenic engines to that level. Our technology, and when the supercomputer was denied to the India, and now we are exporting the supercomputers to the Americans. To that extent, we always face the challenges. So I'm damn sure that India as well as India means Indians, and Indians can take up these challenges. I have highlighted only few challenges that, because which comes within the economic gambit, or which poses a major threat to the economic scenario. And one more, let me highlight another challenge also. That is increase in the inequality. That is also another cause. But here, when you see the inequality data that which the World Bank is also giving us, and World Inequality Lab data, if you see that. So 22.6% of the national income is captured by 1% of the top rich persons in the country. So these kinds of issues are different. I don't want to quote Oxfam report because they are little exaggerated. So they are. So one thing is there, that inequality is still very high in this country, but the top 1% or the top 10% of the rich persons are uh, having enjoying the fruits of the development. That is true. And one thing that which I want to draw is Kuznets inverted U hypothesis phenomena here, because the process of development, till we reach a certain stage, right, till we reach a benchmark period, inequality would rise and thereafter it would fall. But again, the policy initiatives are also crucial for that, and of course government is doing it. And even the way we impart the skill to our students, we impart the skills, and the way we enhance their employability also matters to reduce the inequality. The quality of education, this quality of skills that which we give to our students also matters in bringing down the inequality. And the government policy initiatives, policy intervention also plays a role over there. So, so these are the issues that which I strongly feel as a challenge to the uh, existing scenario of our path towards the development. Now we will see, what are the opportunities, right? What are the opportunities which India is having to become a developed economy, which India is grabbing from both the hands to become a developed country. The main opportunity which I see is a demographic dividend. India will enjoy the demographic dividend till 2055. So probably India is the only country which is enjoying the demographic dividend for quite a larger span of period. If at all, if you see the history, almost Japan became developed country when it enjoyed the demographic dividend. US also became developed country when it enjoyed demographic dividend. Many of the European countries also. And it's worth mentioning the Japan's case. They had a double-digit growth when they enjoyed the demographic dividend. And probably India is also aiming at it, and the minimum being 7 to 9%, minimum being the average of around 7 to 9%, say call it as 8%. So here till 2055, we will definitely enjoy. But in case if we cannot utilize the demographic dividend, then it will be an Himalayan blender. So from the government also, they are doing, probably the recent advertisement also, the budget initiative has been advertised probably last month when we witnessed that for the Prime Minister internship program for more than 500 companies, leading companies in this country, where the students were offered the internship. Selected students were offered the internship and paid 6,000 rupees per month and 5,000 rupees per month and 6,000 as one time grant to them per year. So all these initiatives, right? All these initiatives will definitely see that our youth will be skillfully becoming more employable. So here, government initiatives at one extent, and the another important initiatives of our teachers to see that our students are more employable by imparting them the critical thinking skills, seeing that their syllabi is of a world class, and teaching them the best that they can do. So all this, I feel it as an opportunity. I strongly feel that this is an opportunity for India. And the another important thing is all this will see that, right? All will see that India will definitely become a developed economy if we utilize our demographic dividend. The demographic dividend is an opportunity. It's also a challenge. And I strongly feel that we will overcome this challenge because Indians are known to overcome the challenges. And India will utilize the demographic dividend and become a developed nation by 2047 or even much earlier to it also. And the initiatives, another important opportunity is the initiatives in the quality education. After NEP, they look at the amount of training, rigorous teaching that which has been imparted, even to frame the syllabus, right? To frame the syllabus, the rigorous workshops which have been happening in every universities, imparting even the local aspects also, the global aspects also, the requirement of the industry, the requirement of the society, all these factors are imbibed together with the ethical practices. So probably all this is an opportunity for India because NEP 2020 itself has offered us, has opened the doors of, as far as given us the door of opportunity for India. And if we are able to utilize it completely, right? If we are able to utilize it completely, then yes, we are there in the developed country list by 2047 or even much earlier to it. So I strongly feel the opportunity that which NEP 2020 has provided through uh, quality education, skillful education, probably will take us much, much way ahead. And another important opportunity is the increase in the middle class, right? Increase in the middle class is also noteworthy. The projection is clearly telling us the expansion of the middle class population to 50 crore population by 2050. So almost by 2047, the India will have around 50 crore middle class population or even higher. So this is clearly telling us, right, that India is moving fast is emerging with the increasing in the middle class population. So that is an added opportunity for India if we enhance. Government of India and is also doing it by probably the recent budget. Also, you see how the standard deduction was increased and saw that some respite is given to the middle class section who are working in the organized sectors, salaried sections. So similarly, many concessions that which in the GST that which is given for the essential commodities also is enhancing that their purchasing power also increases. And when more and more employability, uh, more and more employability is increased in the younger generation, in the young population, definitely there will be increase in the middle class, and that will add as an great strength to the India and to become a developed economy. And in case if we see the digital revolution, right, when it was introduced, probably when phone pay, Google Pay and all came, and when the Beam app was introduced, when the UPI came, so all of us felt, right, India was not ready to it. But look at the way India hugged it. Almost if you go and drink even the tender coconut now or a sugarcane juice now, even there you can find a QR code there where you can pay your money through that for the services that you avail. So even from I'm not underestimating any job here, but even at the remotest corner, when you go for a retail, small retail shop or a tea stall, or for to drink a tender coconut or a buttermilk in a very small shop, even there also you can find how the UPI has traveled even to the deep inroads into the uh, in the business. So all this is giving us the fruits of the digital revolution. And now almost we are at the threshold of this digital revolution. And if you want to see the innovation across the various sectors, such as e-commerce, fintech, edtech, health tech, agri-tech, it is sea-bound now. So the wide spread availability of the low-cost internet is helping it, and there is a significant surge in the internet users also. Now India is having more than 751.5 million users by the January 2024. So look at this, almost the 75 crore population, right? 75 crore population is enjoying 75 crore population is using the internet day in, day out. So these are the reasons that why India is definitely far way ahead, and it is utilizing the opportunity and will become a developed economy. And the penetration rate is also around 52.4%. And look at the mobile connections now, right? And even uh, almost the whole world, India is the fastest growing mobile connection market today, and day in, day out, it's growing. So these are all the reasons that which we are happy about, and I strongly feel that this is a great opportunity for India. That India will definitely become utilizing this. India will definitely become a developed economy. And look at this UPI initiatives I was telling you. Even when we go to the remotest part of the country, even to the remotest hamlet also, we are finding the UPI. So UPI or a United Payment Interface over there. The Rupaya card scheme is instrumental in accelerating the online transactions. The UPI transaction by January 2024 reached a new milestone as we became 18.41 lakh crores, right? 18.41 lakh crores was the total transaction, UPI transaction by January 2024. So this is almost a 42% increase, so year on year increase. And the volume of the digital payment transaction is also increasing a staggering growth, right? It was just a 2071 crores in 17-18. And by 22-23 financial year, it surpassed 30,462 crore. Again, an impressive growth of 45%. So UPI, there is a tremendous growth. And look at the way the digital revolution is moving ahead. And then you look at the financial inclusion. And one of the reasons for the success of UPI is the success of the financial inclusion. So Jandan has been fairly successful, as almost 99.5% of the adults in India have the bank accounts with them now. And even we did evaluation study on Jandan ICSSR research project, wherein we found wherein we found that it was fairly successful. Even when we went to the Rajasthan, we did a survey in Rajasthan, Karnataka, and Rajasthan, Karnataka, and West Bengal. We found that the Jandan is very, very successful in the villages over there, in the rural, across the, even among the marginalized communities. The study was based on basically on the utilization of the Jandan by the marginalized communities, and because the other communities definitely had the accounts with them, but these communities, the marginalized communities, did not have the bank account and the credit facilities or the other banking or the insurance facilities that which the financial inclusion brings in. But when we went and saw in the field, we were really very happy to see that Jandan had done a fairly significant impact on the lives of the poor, on the lives of the marginalized sections of the society. They're very happy with the having the bank accounts and the facility that which they are getting because of that. And the government of India says initiative has led to around 50 crore Jandan accounts, new Jandan accounts that which has been created. So almost, as I told you, 99.5% of the Indians are now are in adults, or 99.5% of the adults are having the bank accounts with them, and they are enjoying the uh, benefits that which the banking and the insurance sector gives to them. So by prioritizing this financial inclusion, say if you want to become an inclusive growth, one of the essential features is there should be a financial inclusion. So now financial inclusion is done and it is doing its best. When I told you I just went to the field, when saw and inquired with the people. So detailed in a questionnaire we filled speaking to them. We have also followed the case study method also. And it is definitely doing a wonderful work by fostering the inclusive growth, uplifting the disadvantaged groups, especially the SC, ST, backward classes, tribals, poor individuals, landless laborers, marginal farmers. So huge amount of good work has been done because of the financial inclusion initiatives done through the Jandan Yojana. And you look at the advantage that which the Jandan success gave us. Probably all of us are aware of this JAM now. So JAM is an opportunity, right? JAM is an opportunity that which India has already grabbed it by both the hands, and it should further continue to add, a few more benefits to this, add a few more benefits for the Jandan, and see that the JAM will be much more highly appreciated and accepted. Because what happens with the JAM is, this is an acronym for the Jandan Yojana, Aadhaar, and Mobile. So this has significantly contributed for the poverty eradication. If you see, I will also give you the figures to what extent the poverty was reduced in this country, to what extent there was an enhancement of the living standards in India. Over the past 9 years, right, over the past 9 years, around 34 trillion rupees have been transferred through the DBT. We are speaking of 34 trillion rupees transferred through the DBT, the subsidies, right, the benefits. So all this money was directly transferred to the beneficiaries. Earlier, there was always the middleman who was eating away all these benefits that which the poor man or the intended beneficiary should get. But now, if it was 100 rupees, 100 rupees reaches the beneficiary. If it is 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees reaches the beneficiary. So without any issue, right, with a click of a button, the money is transferred directly to the beneficiary, and there is no problem or no leakages in between. So that is helping, right? That is helping to ease out the lives of the poor. That is helping to ease out the life of the intended beneficiary, and the standard of living is also increasing. And then the study is also clearly telling us, this transfer of 34 trillion rupees because of the success of Jandan and because of the JAM. And it has almost prevented the leakage of around 2.7 trillion rupees as into the black money. The initiative, look at this, the leakage amount estimated is around 2.7 trillion black money that was prevented. So because directly it was transferred, there was because there was no leakages and it reached the beneficiary and it was white money. So if it had leakages, then it would have gone, it would have become a black money and it would have been transferred in the wrong hands. And again, all of us know the problems that which the black money will create for the economy. And it also helps, right? This initiatives is also helpful for the poor and the middle class. So it also promotes the financial inclusion and empowerment. That is the reason why I keep on telling. So JAM is again a game changer, right? JAM is a game changer. On the one hand, it is helping the money to reach the intended beneficiary. On the other hand, it is stopping the leakage or the leakage because of which black money is prevented. And on the other hand, the beneficiary standard of living, the ease of it has made their living at ease and the standard of living has increased. So look at the poverty, because of which, it is very clear that the figures of poverty reduction, all these years, right, even if you see the textbooks that is printed some 5 years, 6, 7 years back, all them have a feature of Indian economy, that is India have a higher amount of poverty or higher amount of people living below poverty line. So probably now India can proudly say, right, Bharat can clearly proudly say that we have reduced the poverty, right? Because it's not just uh, we are proud, the whole world is proud of India's achievement. Now, United Nations is appreciating India. United Nations is appreciating India, and it is telling us, 50 poverty rate has declined from 55.1% in 2005 to 2006 to 16.4% between 19 and 21. Look at the amount from 55.1% to just 16.4%. Now it has further come down. It has further come down to 10%. And Government of India is planning that it should bring down the poverty level much lesser, right? Much lesser to single digit, right? Because we are right now around 10%. It should be lesser than that. It will become a single digit and then completely eliminate the poverty from the entire mindset as well as from the Indian soil. And look at this, the World Bank's international poverty line of $1.9 in PPP terms. It also is clearly telling us, right, the poverty rates has dipped tremendously in India. As I told you, I quoted that figures from the World Bank international poverty line of $1.9 in PPP terms, wherein the poverty in 2023 has reduced to 10%. If there was no COVID, then probably it would have, by now we would have been 3 or 4% because of COVID-19's tremendous impact which it had on Indian economy, of course, on the world economy also. Because by 2020, based on the World Bank international poverty line of $1.9, we had dropped to 9%. Poverty line in India was just to 9%. But because of that, then it increased to 12.5%. Because of the COVID-19, the poverty rate increased to 12.5%. Again, now we are coming back on track. And yes, India by 2024 will see a single digit poverty line and poverty numbers, right? And the impact of poverty elevation is also very evident when we see 41.5 crore people lifted out of poverty by 2019-2021. And if you see the Niti Aayog's estimates also, even in the multidimensional poverty index also, it has come down significantly low to 3.5%. So all this is clear, right? All this, it is very clear that in India, we were able to reduce the poverty. And this is a wonderful opportunity for us. When the people living below poverty line decreases, then it means to say India is doing remarkably well. And these people are ready with more skills, right? They're ready with more skills to join the middle class and take India towards the progress. So infrastructure, again, a remarkable momentum is there with the household electrification, around 97% of the households, especially rural electrification reaching 97%. Urban electrification was really good, but especially when we speak of the rural electrification, now we have attained 97%. That is again a matter of applaud for all of us because infrastructure wise also we are really doing good. And India's road network also has expanded significantly, making it second largest in the world with 6.4 million kilometers of roads. And the government is focusing on road construction has led to building of 40 kilometers of new roads daily and more than double the rate which was done before 2014. And the national highway network has been substantial growth. And now it was just 91,000 kilometers, 91,287 kilometers in 2014. Now it has attained, by 2023, it is 146,145 kilometers. The quality of roads has improved notably. But as I was telling you, even now we can find 6 lanes, 8 lanes, 10 lanes in India. But only thing is the road infrastructure. The challenge for me is not the national highways. The infrastructure is really good. But in case of the rural district, rural roads, district roads, that there is still a lot of things that which India has to do, and there is a great challenge that which we are facing in terms of rural district, rural as well as district roads, and some of the state roads, state highways also. And this railway system is also doing really good. India is ranking fourth globally with substantial track length. Almost we are now, our Vande Bharat is doing really good. So India indigenously is producing the engines which can run up to 180 to 200 kilometers, and we are also India is also exporting those engines. And operational airports also have increased to 148 now from 74. So it will again, the plan is to have in almost all the district, the city place wherein we should have an airport. So there is a consistent efforts to improve the aviation infrastructure. And when we're speaking of the Green India, Government of India is also investing on the renewable energy, green infrastructure, climate resilience, to become to reduce the carbon footprint. We are planning to have a carbon zero by 2070. So all this for this, the initiatives is step by step they are doing it, and hope many of you know the initiative of the government, wherein if you invest on having the green fuel or the solar panel above on the roof of your house to generate electricity, then 75,000 subsidies also given to each household in order to invest on the green initiative on the solar panels. So India's installed non-fossil fuel capacity has increased by 396% in last 8.5 years. And we are standing more than 200, stand at more than 203.19 gigawatts, including hydro and nuclear power now. So about 45.5% of the country's total capacity is now green energy. So India, year on year basis, it is standing on the renewable energy growth is around 9.83%. So all this are the opportunities, right? All these are the opportunities which we are seeing that India is doing really good in terms of grabbing the opportunities and doing well. But only thing is, as we discussed, the challenges, especially in terms of providing the skills and reducing the unemployment, keeping in track the inflation, especially the food inflation, and improving the quality education. So all this will definitely make India into a developed country. And in this Kartavya Kal, it's more that all of us do our role. And if we do it properly, then yes, it is on the walls, right? If all of us do our duties honestly in this Kartavya Kal, I'm seeing that India has a Vikasit Bharat much earlier than 2047. And any things, I thank the Mizoram University for giving me this opportunity to share a few of my thoughts on this. I thank Professor Bhartendu Singh and Vidhu Kanti Das and all those who are responsible for me to be part of this wonderful HRDC program here. Madan Mohan Malviya initiative is a training teachers initiative. So I thank all of them. So if any queries are there, please feel free to ask them. Even if you have any new insights to make India as a Vikasit Bharat also, another 4 5 minutes, you please share that with all your friends. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your nice presentation. Sir, we are having some 4-5 questions from participants. Vidu, want
Yes.
to take? Now you're taking Vidu, or I should take?
Sir, yes, I may take, but sir, these questions were actually uh, for earlier session. Yes, one question is that given the needs of spending 6% to 6% of GDP on education and 4% on health, do you think the upcoming direct tax code 2025 can increase the tax revenue sufficiently through increasing the tax base?
Yeah, tax base, that is one other thing, tax base has to be increased. But only thing is, we are happy buying good number of luxury cars, but we are not happy paying our taxes, except for those who are salaried class and who are there in the organized sector. If you see even now, the amount of direct taxpayers are very less in this country, cannot be compared with any of the developed countries. So only thing is, when all of us, one thing from the government is tax rate should be reduced still further, and especially the direct taxes should be reduced further. And all of us should also, honestly pay our taxes. Majority of us, those who are in the organized sector, we are forced to pay. That is a different issue, and we are happy to pay also. But those who are in the retail sector, those who cannot be tracked properly. So now Government of India is taking the initiatives for it, but still, if at all, if we are having the honesty and integrity with ourselves, and definitely I see 8 to 10% of Indians at least will be paying the income taxes. But right now, only 3 to 4% of the Indians are paying the income taxes. And at least it should be 10% of the Indians should be paying the income taxes. If it happens, then definitely yes. But the initiatives from the government side, I wish that they will be reducing the income taxes further. And from our side, uh, more honesty and integrity in paying our taxes. Even when it comes to GST also, if at all, if the bill says when we go to buy the dress, if at all, if they say it is 16 or 18%, then we will say, okay, fine, can you reduce it, or can you give it without the bill? General immediate question that even the so-called educated will ask is, can you give it to us without the bill? It is not the illiterate or the one who doesn't have the much income will ask that. That is the one who knows everything will only be asking. Even without bill also, it is okay. Chalta hai, can you give me without bill and don't collect the GST? Or at least reduce the price, put the GST only for the little amount and then take it. All these things we are doing only. So only then the tax base will increase.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one more few questions are there.
Yeah, I will take it, sir. I'm reading it. I can read it
Yes.
here. Sir,
Next one.
don't you feel that Niti Aayog 7 to 10% growth
Yes,
targets
sir.
2047 will remain only aspirational without effective governance at the state level? Yeah, fully agree with this, right? Yeah, it's not just the central government, state government also. It's together we have to work. Central, state, all of us should together work it, and hope many of the state government, majority of the state governments and the government of India and all of us together, we can definitely do it. But as you are rightly pointing it out, the debt profiles, a few states are, highly. Even RBI is showing the red flag for them, and probably all of them will also fall in line because we have the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. If all the state governments, including the central governments, fall in line with that, then there is no issue because of the COVID-19 that was relaxed, and probably now it's a time wherein we have to tighten our belts and see that the FRBMS Act is followed in toto. Otherwise, yes, as you have rightly pointed it out, again, if one is trying the one way of to go towards the development, the other one or two will be pulling us down. That should not happen. It is, India, Bharat becoming developed country. It is not just the initiative of the central government. It should be the initiative of all the state governments, central governments, and all of us together. Only then it will be successful, and there should be a cut on this field, free doles that which a few of the governments will give. see that it reaches only the beneficiaries. Say if you are giving something, it should be for the short duration, only for those who are below the poverty line, not for en masse. So that must be followed. Second question is, it's very interesting to see the numerous data. Will it be possible to share you the data figures? Yeah, I can do that. I will definitely give you the source as well as the data set with you. Because I was not well for quite 2, 3 days. I couldn't put it down on the PPT, but of course I can make it points and send it to you. And another question is about the female labor force participation in the last 6 years. However, to a large extent is due to the out migration from urban to rural in the post-COVID era, where females have started working in the low productive inferior agriculture sector.
That was hopefully for previous sessions. Okay.
Okay, then
For
fine.
this
I
only.
will stop
For this
here.
only.
Sir,
Thank
one
you.
more interesting question is there in
Vidhu, this question is for this session only.
chat box. Okay, one question is there in chat box that is.
Vidhu, the
Yes.
question sir was reading is for this session only.
Okay.
Priyanka Ghosh.
Okay, can
Priyanka
we
Ghosh.
really say that this is a positive sign for the economy? What is your opinion on this? If you check the recent economic survey 2024, there is a clear-cut mention of prohibitions on women in the labor force. For the participation of the women in the labor force, there are at least 136 prohibitions, right? 136 or more prohibitions in the leading states, the major populous states in the country. So this should go. Only when this goes, then the things will fall in place. Otherwise, what you're saying is true. Because of the migration, we are seeing it. But the best part of it is women is coming forward. Only thing is how to monetize, all that work that which the woman is doing. It is not that the women were not working. Women were working, and few of these sectors we were unable to monetize. And these prohibitions that which economic survey is pointing it out in few of the industrial areas, even more than 136 prohibitions they have listed out over there. So those prohibitions also has to be removed. And four, from the household level as well as from the government level, there should be more of the initiatives to enhance the female participation or the women participation in the workforce. And then can you please highlight few key research gaps in the commerce and management to align with the Vikasit Bharat goals? Yes, definitely. When we speak of, one is on the taxes, which they are speaking. So how to increase the tax base, where to increase, how to increase the tax base, especially the direct taxes, that is more important. And in which areas and which sectors we can reduce the GST. So this can be one of the studies where you can go to the field and do it, especially in the taxes. And one thing is on FDI also. In order to becoming Vikasit Bharat, two important things. One is Atmanirbhar Bharat, another one is foreign capital. So one is we are speaking about the self-reliance. One thing is we are speaking on the self-reliance. Another important thing is we are also promoting the foreign capital also. So how to build this bridge between this? Atmanirbhar Bharat is said to be the bridge between the indigenous growing technology and the foreign capital. So how exactly to bring this? So that can be another area of research wherein you can do. And few more there. I will just list out and send it to you. Thank you. So Mira.
Sir, another question was there, Vidhu, from chat box.
Yes, chat box, sir. Very important question is there. It's written that lots of people, they are actually above BPL, that is APL family.
Sir, kindly come again.
Sir, last in chat box you can see that is sometimes you will see
No
people
questions
are
are there in
trying
the
to
chat box,
prove
sir.
themselves as a poor or BPL, even if their economic condition is much above the BPL limit. So is such mindset of people also a challenge in Biksit Bharat?
Yeah, that is true. I did mention that development lies in the men's mind, in which the institution finds its expression. That's one of the famous quote by one of the economists. But here, what I wish to say is link the benefits that they're taking with the Aadhaar. It is there already. See the data, how much they are spending, how much they're earning. Link everything with the other and see that, say if 10% or 15% in that particular state is linked, is claiming themselves as having living below poverty line, list them and give them the. So along with it, list them their Aadhaar. Wherever they do, the transaction, everything, and whatever the benefits the government is getting, list it out also. See that in 1 year, where exactly they are. In case if they come out of that, then remove them. So that should be done, without any political interference, it should be done. You see, what happens basically with the BPL card is any leader, in case if there is a village, in the village, if there is one leader, he will be identified as leader based on how many BPL cards he get, how many of the schemes he brings into the village, into that villageman. So in case if we are very strict on this, if a clear-cut guidelines on who is poor should be there. Say if you are the government employee, if you earn more than 1.25 lakhs per year, as per the Food Security Act, in case if they are earning more than 1.25 lakhs per year or spending more than 1.25 lakhs a year, see that they will be removed automatically from the BPL. Or give them the another threshold of another 50,000, not more than that. But once they attain it, remove it. There should be no political interference, and all the political parties should act as one. One removing from them and another, acting or batting for that particular individual will become a political issue. That should not be done. BPL, a strict guideline should be there, and whoever crosses it should not be given. When we did a survey, also we saw that an individual was having a tractor at his home, but still he was claiming as BPL. But when we asked him, he first admitted it, then he was telling, no, the tractor doesn't belong to him. But when you see the credit records, everything, it will be there. So immediately after 4-5 years, remove each such individuals out of the buck. Because, World Bank also is clearly telling us India is having less than 10% of the people are below poverty line. But, each and every state is claiming 60%, 70%, distributing 60-70% of BPL cards to their citizens. Doesn't make it hold good. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your knowledgeable session. Even myself also enlightened a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Bhartendu sir.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Although there was some problem with internet, but still you continued. So thank you, sir, for your presentation. And in future also we'll contact you for such more enriching sessions. Thank you,
sir.
And dear participants, will be having a lunch break now. We will reassemble at 1:30, and at 1:30, Professor LSK Sarma, Head Department of Management, is going to talk on academic leadership, and followed by another session by Professor Guru Das from NIT, and he is going to talk on philosophical foundation of social science researches. Professor Guru Das has already joined, so I request him also to be here or join at around 3 for his session. So see you all at 1:30 sharp. Thank you. Thank you, sir.